Just because you file bankruptcy doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get denied. Most banks do not care about an eviction when you're buying a house, when you're buying a car, when you're getting a credit card. Okay. Now, if you have an eviction and let's say you got you owe them like $4,000, $5,000, $10,000, right? That amount does fall. They will affect your DTI, so it will lower your buying power for a house. But as far as like a personal loan or getting like an auto loan or a credit card, they could care less. Let's go. All right, guys. Banks do not care about these things. I know that they matter to you, but I promise you, a lot of banks do not care about these things. Let's go straight into it. Number one is going to be an eviction. Most banks do not care about an eviction when you're buying a house, when you're buying a car, when you're getting a credit card. Okay. And the reason why is simply because an eviction just simply shows that, hey, you obviously didn't pay a certain balance for whatever reason. They don't need an explanation. Now, here, I will say this. If you're buying a house, they may need what they call an LOE. That's a letter of explanation explaining exactly why that necessarily happened. But again, not every lender is going to do that, but they're not necessarily going to deny you specifically because you got an eviction itself. Now, if you're looking for an apartment, that's a little bit different, right? Because the whole point of getting the whole point of filling out an application for an apartment or them doing essentially a rental history check is so they can see if you've had an eviction. But as far as borrowing money, like a personal loan or getting a credit card or an auto loan or a mortgage loan, they could care less about an eviction. Okay, guys? And I'm telling you this again, because again, most banks would not care about these things. Okay. Number two, child support. Here, I'm not saying y'all not taking care of y'all kids, okay? But but take care of y'all kids, okay? But people are on child support for various reasons. I am not going into the politics of that, okay? But either way, most banks do not care about child support. Here's why: because number one, they have nothing to do with that, okay? That's just money that you owe. Now, don't get me wrong; it will play a role, inside of your DTI, okay? But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get denied specifically for that reason, okay? Just like with the eviction. Now, if you have an eviction and let's say you got you owe them like $4,000, $5,000, $10,000, right? That amount does fall. They will affect your DTI, so it will lower your buying power for a house. But as far as like a personal loan or getting like an auto loan or a credit card, they could care less. Okay, I told you guys, banks care about these three things. Okay, number one is going to be credit score. Credit score is going to get you in the door. Number two is going to be income. They need to make sure you got the money. And then number three, then they look at the credit report to say, okay, how strong of a credit profile is this? Okay, so again, it may affect your buying power with buying a home, but it won't necessarily keep you from getting approved or denied or anything like that. Number three is going to be charge-offs. Again, banks don't care about these charge-offs. Now, let me explain what that means, okay? Obviously, if you had an account with Chase Bank and the things didn't go the way you wanted them to, and it ended up being a charge-off, and then of course you try to apply with Chase Bank a year later, that's going to matter. Not because necessarily it was a charge-off, but simply because they gave you an opportunity and you squandered it, okay? So again, that's going to be a little bit different. But another bank would not necessarily deny you because you did this necessarily to another bank, depending on how old that is, okay? Now, that doesn't mean that you're always going to get approved every single time. I'm just saying it's not that much of a wait. Here's what I mean by that. Especially if it's a little bit older, everyone has made credit mistakes before. The person you are right now is not the person you're going to be, 2 years from now. The person that you were 2 years ago, 1 year ago, 3 years ago, you're a different person now, whether it's mentally or financially. But banks understand that people make mistakes. And so they're not going to be like, oh, I see what you did 6 years ago and we're going to deny you for that. No, you guys got to understand, if banks were really that strict, two things would happen. Number one, everybody wouldn't have, what they have. Credit cards, auto loans, mortgage loans, personal loans, whatever. They wouldn't do that. That's number one. Number two, who do you think the bank makes money off of? They make money off the people that's borderline. They're not making money off people that's at 0%, 0.9%, 1.9%. They're not making money. They are making obviously little money. But if you were a bank, wouldn't you rather have somebody at 30% interest, at 25% interest, at 20% interest, at 15% interest, right? Those are the people that barely qualify. That's where the money is. It's risky. It's risky, but they want that risk. It's no different than y'all going to the casino. Y'all at the crap tables, right? It's risky. Okay, y'all at the listen. I know. Listen, y'all are at the slot machines and say, listen, it's risky. That's about the same amount of risk. Okay, so that's how that whole process goes. You guys got to understand that. Again, banks are not going to trip off of all these things you think about. Bankruptcy. Now, here's the thing: just because you file bankruptcy doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get denied. Okay, there are plenty of lenders out there that will give you an opportunity if you've had a previous bankruptcy. Now, there may be some restrictions on certain things you cannot do. For example, if you have a Chapter 7, most banks will not give you a mortgage loan until after 2 years. Okay, but again, there are some banks that are starting to like lean a little bit on that. There's a new bank in Chicago that's now giving mortgage loans out if you've had your Chapter 7 1 year after discharge. Okay, so again, some banks are starting to kind of bend the rules a little bit. Everybody's going to be a little different, so just make sure you guys do your research. Okay, then you have a Chapter 13. So again, if you're trying to buy a house and you got a Chapter 13, but it's been less than a year, you may not necessarily qualify. Okay, because again, that's just the bankruptcy rules itself. But there are other things that you may be trying to qualify for, like an auto loan, a credit card. Everything's going to be a little bit different. So not every bank is not necessarily going to deny you for all these things. That's why it's more than one bank. See, if it was just one bank, then it would just be a set amount of rules. But that's why it's thousands of banks, because they have slightly different requirements, slightly different rules, slightly different clientele. As a matter of fact, if these banks are in a certain neighborhood, you know that the income is going to be around here, the expenses are going to be about here, so everyone's area is going to be a little bit different. So they have to have banks that's going to support what's going on in the area on an average basis. Okay, guys. So next is going to be the last time that you had, let's say, a missed payment. Now, don't get me wrong. Again, going into mortgages. Now, mortgages is strict on certain things, and it's a lot of stuff that they don't care about. It's not just about mortgages, but they're the only ones that's really going to be kind of nitpicky on certain things. Okay, so they don't care that you had a late payment on your car note. They don't care that you had a late payment on your credit card. But what they do care about is if you had late payments on a mortgage loan, okay, in the last 12 months. Now, it's not that people don't struggle. Things happen. People get mortgage assistance. People lost their job. People get furloughed. People get laid off. Stuff happens. They just want to see, okay, what did you do after that? Did you get back on track? Right? Banks just like to see that you got back on track. You can't be, well, I was late last month. Fam, you've been late not just last month. You've been late like the last 6 months. Right? You can't say, well, yeah, I did have a repo. Fam, your only 2-3 cars was repossessions. Okay? So you gotta, again, you gotta make sure to say, listen, your credit report has to speak for itself. It has to say, yes, this is who I was, but look at me now. It's got to say that without you saying it. Is your credit report saying that? Okay. And if not, you may need to get some help. And if you need some help, that's exactly where our YouTube membership comes in at. A lot of our YouTube members are most definitely benefiting from that as well too. Okay, guys? It's going to be collections. Okay. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get, it doesn't mean that you're going to get approved just because you have, a certain amount of collections. But again, most lenders are not going to trip if you have a collection. You can have 20 collections. Okay. For the most part, this is what they're going to do. They're going to look at your collections, and they're going to put that inside of your DTI, your debt to income. And if your income's not high enough to essentially get around the percentage of the collection amounts that they're putting against you, and again, this is for mortgages. Okay, so we're always talking about mortgages, auto loans, credit cards, and then everything else kind of falls in play. Okay, but as it pertains to mortgages, they're not really going to trip on the actual collections itself, but they're going to, every collection that's over $2,000, they're going to take a certain percentage of that and then count that against you. So, but if you have a certain amount of collections, or really the amount of the balance itself, the balances of all of your collections, they look at that percentage, and then if it puts the DTI out of order, then that's when you wouldn't qualify. But in that case, you could just either settle with them, pay it off, or you can actually just make more income or get a cosigner. Okay, but again, that makes sense because it's like, hey, we want to give you this money, but you got too many other obligations, other promises that you made that you didn't follow. I mean, you didn't do your part on, right? I think that's fair. And it's not like it's like denied and get out. It's more like, hey, you're denied, take care of this stuff and come back. That's what you have to understand. Most banks are not saying get out. They're saying take care of this and come back. Take care of this and come back. Once you take care of this, you come back. We're going to reevaluate everything, recalculate everything, and then we'll make sure that we're good to go. And then worst case scenario, if they say no, go to the next bank. Again, that's where research comes in, guys. But again, when you're looking at auto loans, man, please, they could care less. Most auto loan companies could care less about a collection. Again, what's the order, guys? What's the order? Credit score is going to get you in the door. Income, so they can make sure that you can pay on time. And then number 3 is going to make sure that they're going to look at at that credit report file and see how strong it is. Okay. But again, it's not necessarily they're saying, hey, we're denying this person because of a collection. No, I know you guys get these letters in the mail and they say, oh, you got too many inquiries, you got too many this. Guys, it's BS. I promise you it's BS. Because again, there are people that have 700 credit scores, 800 credit scores that got 20 inquiries. You can easily have a 700 credit score and you could easily be an 800 credit score with 20 different inquiries. Okay. Especially within a 2-year time frame. So again, these banks are most definitely flexible. It's not as big of a deal you think it is. And that leads me to my fifth point is going to be the increase. Okay. Every single bank does not care about increase. Now, mortgage companies, let's go ahead and talk about that. So mortgage companies, they may ask you to do a LOE, a letter of explanation. We talked about that a couple seconds ago. And they may need you to explain, hey, why did you apply for these? We're not denying you. We just need to know why. Really, they just need to know that in their file. That way, when the underwriter looks at it, it's like, oh, why they got all these inquiries? Oh, okay, I see why. Okay. And so that's essentially what that's going to end up being, especially if you have a mortgage inquiry and then you go to another mortgage company. Some lenders will ask you, why are you coming to us when you just left XYZ? It may be simply because you just want to check out the rates and things of that sort, right? But at the end of the day, they still may ask you for a letter of explanation because they want to know, hey, are you just checking out rates, or did you get denied and you need to come over here? Either way, they're not going to push you out the door. You guys, like I told you guys, banks make money off of people that barely qualify. Again, banks make money off of people that barely qualify. That's how they make the money. They're not making money off the people that know too much. Okay? They're not making money off the people that know too much. So again, inquiries, they could care less. When you're getting a car, clearly they don't care about increases. They're the ones who end up putting most of the inquiries on your credit report, right? So auto loans, they're not going to care about it. Now, credit cards. Now, credit cards is a little bit funny when it comes down to increase, okay? But again, it depends on the credit card company. So if you're trying to get something that's more premium, they probably going to want to see a little bit of a room, a little bit of a spread. And credit cards are always a little weird. Here's why. Because the credit card companies are the only ones they got certain regulations, but for the most part, they can change anything they want to on an application, okay? Mortgages don't do that. Auto loans don't really do that, okay? But credit cards, most definitely, they can say, hey, you know what? We don't like XYZ. So make sure you guys reach out to these companies and kind of learn more about it. But again, guys, it's more than one credit card that's out here. And that's why there are like a lot of credit card companies that are out here in general. So let's say, for example, you really want to get an American Express card, but then they have American Express cards where they don't care too much about particular amount of inquiries, okay, guys? So again, it's the whole point of having credit is so somebody can take a look at your credit. That's called an inquiry. That's why they only last 2 years on your credit report. And as it gets closer to 2 years, it has a lower weight. It has a lower value as far as the like the point structure on your like the value that it is on your actual credit report, guys. Okay. So either way, we'll catch you guys on the next video.